I see him maybe stepping back some, but I don't know. I don't see him retiring, but I mean, nothing would surprise me.
Yeah, no, his words were, I have no intention on retiring. I have every intention on keeping myself in the condition I need to stay in or doing what I need to do to be able to continue what I'm doing because I love what I do. I love the team I have. I love being in Kansas City. I signed a contract for a reason because I knew I was going to be here for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to do whatever he has to do to stay here. So for everybody that was worried about that, I wouldn't be so concerned with that at this point. If something happens between now and then there may be a change. But at this point, right now, it doesn't look like Andy's going anywhere. Now,
no, I agree.
As far as somebody else is concerned, there's definitely going to be a change come next year. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't happen yet, but we've talked about that on prior shows. But there was so much of an obvious difference in the offense from this week to last week.
They look way more free. Way more free.
Wait, last week was just a totally different how should I word this? It was almost like they were a bunch of kids out there just having fun in the backyard. This week it was more almost like they were on an assembly line and they were just unhappy to be there to some degree.
Like towards the end though, they looked a lot better.
But they did towards the end. Because they knew that the game was in the bag, and it was the defense really did their job, which they've done for a while now. But I think the offense, they know what their capabilities are, they know what they want to do, and they know what hampers them and then what doesn't. And when things hamper them and cause them to not be able to run free and do what they're capable of doing and what they've learned to do, then it does put a crimp in your style. It puts doubts in your mind, and I think that's all going to go away at some point. But this was a statement game in my opinion. We just beat a 7-2 team when everybody said the only teams we had beat prior to this were teams that were losing or teams that had losing records. We just beat 2 winning record teams in a row. We've won 4 straight. Actually, the Eagles have been on a winning streak. They've been playing a lot better. So they're no joke of a team. They're doing a lot better than they were. So I don't know what they did today, but they were looking really good. I don't know how the game ended up. I didn't get to see, but they were doing really well.
Eagles won. They basically blew out the Saints.
Yeah, they blew out the Saints. So not to say that the Saints are a great team or anything of that nature, but they're a good team. Hey, look what the Eagles did to the Bucs. Okay. I mean, a 7-point difference, and it came down to the end of the game and a couple of really good, helpful calls for Tom Brady by the refs. So kind of is what it is. We haven't played any slouches to any degree.
I think every team we've played to, and even the teams we lost to, they're good teams, in my opinion. I don't think I see it always as any given Sunday. You do not know what's going to happen.
No.
There's always something that's different.
Exactly. How many passing yards did Mahomes have today?
Mahomes had 244, I believe.
244 yards compared to 406 last week.
So, I mean, yeah, he didn't get the touchdowns or anything, but he had, 260 yards, my bad. 260 yards passing.
And what did he have? You said no touchdowns?
No touchdowns, but 1 interception and the fumble.
Yeah. So it just kind of gives me an idea, should give everybody an idea of the way things change, depending, I guess, on how or who is at who's got the headset at that time, or who's got the.
Well, I think when it comes to we want to win, we know there might be a good chance, but
yeah,
we'll see, man. I mean, I think it'll work out regardless. I'm not worried, but I think this team, where we're seeing that defense is on a whole other level, and I think we're going to be able to continue to push through.
Oh, I do too. I can't see us losing it. I can't see us losing another game. I mean, that was the toughest. That was our toughest game to date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong. You look at our schedule. We have not this week coming up because we have Thanksgiving. We got the Broncos, then the Raiders, then the Chargers, then the Steelers, then the Bengals, then the Broncos. I think we can win those 6 games. I really think we do. I really think we can. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would not be surprised. We can.
And look who lost today. Look at all the teams in the AFC that lost today.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's one thing. And all the people who listen to our show, JP and I told you guys, this is a long season. It's not over yet. And look what we're seeing now, man. They're at the top of the pack, kind of. Yeah. The Titans, who we lost to the Texans.
Yeah.
I know if the Chiefs ran it back, we could beat them. The Ravens almost lost to the Bears. Now, granted, they didn't have Lamar Jackson, but I know the Chiefs can come back and beat them. I really believe wholeheartedly that every team we lost to, we can beat them in the second round. I really think we can.
Yeah. And I have actually, weirdly enough, I still am going back to this. I still believe that we do have a shot of getting that first round or that.
You
first
think
seed.
so?
Yeah, man. I
mean, even the Bills lost today.
The Bills lost today, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
they won their Super Bowl against us, but that was kind of what we saw with them.
Yeah. So to me, and the Bills didn't just lose; they got beat up. So
the Colts aren't really that good, if we're being honest.
And they're not. So the Colts just smacked them around. It just is what it is. This is what we went back to this a week ago. We went through this in 19 where we went on that 4-game streak and then we won out. And again, I got into an argument with my uncle about this. There's no way we'll ever get the number 1 seed. How are you going to say that again? Blah, blah, blah. We ended up with it was the 18th season. Well, that's when we went 12-4 and we lost to the Patriots in overtime. In the AFC
no. That's the year we won the Super Bowl.
No, I'm talking about the year we went. Didn't we play? We played at home. The first AFC Championship game we hosted.
We lost, but that second season we had the 6-4 start, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl and ended up getting the number 1 seed.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But we mathematically we can go back to being the number 1 seed right now. We're still we're in the seat right now that we could, we could easily get that number 1 seed. Not easily, but we can get it. A few teams
what would have to happen
like they are. I mean, we went out and a few these AFC teams like the Texans, the Titans, the Bills, these teams that are leading, that were leading the pack at one time or another, they continue to drop off like they are. And we went out. It's not that difficult, dude. It's not unheard of that we can't take that number 1 seed. Yeah. Because I don't believe that, and I said this last week, I don't believe those teams are going to win out. And they didn't. I mean, they haven't. The Ravens lost, or they barely won today, right? Or did they lose?
The Ravens, they barely won, but that's because Lamar wasn't in there. But they should have lost that game, if we're being honest. They should have lost that game. They got luck again at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins was basically unguarded, basically ran a deep post, but towards the sidelines, caught out of bounds.
That was about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, and they ran the ball in, but the Bears really had him. They had him. Yeah. So I think because when you're looking at if you're looking at the playoff picture right now, the Titans are 8-3. The Baltimore Ravens are 7-3. The Patriots are 7-4, and the Chiefs are 6-4. So wait a minute. This schedule is wrong. This schedule is wrong. Sorry,
we're 7-4.
No, yeah, we're 7-4. I'll have to find an updated one on Twitter. But basically, is the Chiefs are they have the 4th seed. I know that for a fact because I saw that after the broadcast.
Right now, we do, yeah.
The Chiefs are the 4th seed, and I think what we're seeing now is like they could still make a run. Can they get the number 1 seed, JP? It's possible, but it would take for Josh. It's probably it's still mathematically possible. I think I'm in the boat as long as we win our division and get in the playoffs, we'll be fine. But I see your point on wanting to take the 1 seed. That would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I would like to win the AFC again, be 4 straight years, and be able to be in the driver's seat, and just cruise right through. Do I think that it's going to happen? I mean, there's a 50-50 shot it can. Again, these teams that are in the driver's seat right now, a couple of them are 2 games ahead of us. They dropped 2, we went out. They dropped 3, we went out. It's not that hard, I think the only team really that may have the edge on that number 1 seed right now might be the Ravens.
I think I would not be surprised if the Ravens get the seed. The only thing I'm looking at is I think all the teams that the Chiefs lost to, we can legitimately win those games. I really think we ran that back. We have a defense now. The offense is knowing what they're doing, so I'm not worried per se. I'm just kind of the fact where I'm just preparing for them not to get the number 1 seed. As long as they can win the division in the playoffs, I'll be fine.
Yeah, and I can't see us. I mean, looking at our division now, I mean, look at where our division sits. The number 1 team is now 5, or was the old number 1 team is now 5-5. Denver's completely out of it. I think they're the bottom of the barrel again. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the Chargers record is now, but I know
they're in the hunt.
They're in the hunt. But
they're in the hunt. They were leading the division. Now they're in the hunt.
Yeah. So,
and I think they're winning right now.
I haven't looked at the score. I haven't since we signed on. I haven't looked at the scores.
Yeah, they're winning 10-14 against the Steelers, and we have to play both of them. We have to play them each one time this
season. Man, you never know what the Steelers are going to do. I'm
not scared of the Steelers. I think we can beat them.
No, I'm talking about against the Chargers. Yeah, I'm talking about against the Chargers. The Chargers, to me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're a bad football team by any means, but I do think that they are lacking in ways that, from a coaching standpoint, they tend to not finish games, especially in the latter part of the seasons. They've always kind of fallen off. And there's been times that they started off horribly, they come on, and then they fall off again. And then there's times that they start off horribly, they lose a couple, then they come on strong again, but it's just not good enough. But usually they tend to just fall off towards the end of the season. Or they fall off enough in the middle to where it doesn't help them enough, and we continue just to ride out the season. So I think with that being said, I don't know that the Chargers will, we still got to play them again. We got the Raiders again. We got the Broncos twice. I can't see us losing. I mean, can we lose to any of these other teams? Well, sure. Any given Sunday. Do I think we're going to? No, I don't. And I think if Andy does call these plays and allows Mahomes to do what he does and lets these guys run free, there's nothing stopping us from winning out the rest of the season. I think we have a good chance, but I see it as a week by week basis because it's any given Sunday in NFL, man. It's any given Sunday. You do not know what's going to happen. You just don't. You just never know. I thought it was very interesting at the end of the game today when I saw Andy on one side of the field walking across 25 yards up the field. I saw the enemy walking across to meet the other team. And I also thought it was interesting that Andy was sitting, and I know it was because a lot of it was because of his knees, but he was really far away from pretty much everything. And he was standing a lot, at the other end of the field or the end of the sidelines. But there's some things going on that, I'm not going to get into, but we're definitely going to see some changes next year. And I think we're already seeing them now this year, but we're going to see a lot more coming on next year, and it's just going to help us in the long run. I do believe that Andy and Spags will be fine.
Well, I think and as much as I hate it, and I said this on the last show before, as Chiefs fans, the Chiefs defense under Spags will not be good for the first 8 weeks. After that, they will pick it up. As much as I don't like it, that's kind of what we're at this point, and I'm fine with that because at least I'm showing there's growth. So when you get growth, that makes it better for everything. Yeah. So, but I mean, I was a proponent of saying Spags had to go, and maybe I'm wrong with that. But at first, it looked like nothing was figuring out. But I just felt like you guys have been in this offense for a long time, defense for a while. You think you would pick it up, but you know what? I'm gonna count the blessings that are happening right now and just be happy with what's happening right now. So.
And a lot of times, like I said, Spags has a lot of different packages, and he comes up with new ones like Andy does all the times. And you've got it. And then you also have some new guys that come in, some guys that were injured that just stepped back into this season. He does have his quirks with the depth chart thing, and I think he's starting to finally